Police and FBI teams work to rescue that 5-year-old boy who's being held captive in an underground bunker in rural Alabama. A tense hostage crisis that is now entering its 4th night. The boy was kidnapped by a gunman during a deadly school bus attack, and tonight he remains trapped as a massive rescue effort continues on. And a small Alabama town prays for his safe return. Here's ABC's Juju Chang.
As this tense hostage drama enters its 4th night, concern is growing for the 5-year-old named Ethan, trapped in an underground bunker with this man, 65-year-old Jimmy Lee Dykes.
It's an innocent kid. Let him go back to his parents. He's crying for his parents and his grandparents, and he does not know what's going on. Let this kid go.
Today, the bright yellow bus turned crime scene was towed away.
The child is on the line with us at this time, advising that the bus driver's been shot.
The crisis began when Dykes boarded the bus full of kids on Tuesday. Brother and sister Tristan and Terica Singletary, who were on the bus, told ABC's Gio Benitez that Dykes threatened to kill them.
My older brother's friend told us to stay down. And I look up and he's talking about threatening to kill us all or something. And then he's like, I'll kill all y'all. I'll kill y'all. I just want 2 kids. And he started pointing at my brother and his friend.
He then shot and killed Charles Poland, the bus driver who tried to intervene.
Just had a bus driver shot, possibly deceased.
Suspect has removed the child from the bus.
Police say Dykes grabbed Ethan, the kindergartner, who kids say always liked to sit in the front row, and headed to a bunker he built behind his house.
He's always seemed like a weird person. I always thought that was just the way he is.
A neighbor in this tiny rural Alabama town says he saw the underground shelter that the Vietnam vet had built.
It's about 15 foot by 15 foot hole ship, and it's about 12 foot deep, and it's lined with those red bricks all in it. He's got steps made out of cinder blocks going down to it. I asked him, I said, what are you using it for? He said, it's going to be my storm shelter.
Dykes is a survivalist who equipped it with electricity and perhaps enough food and water to last weeks.
Now, Mr. Dykes had stood up between him and the children that was, I assume, still on the bus, and that's when the shots went off.
Dykes is described by police as a loner with anti-government leanings. He's also had legal disputes with his neighbors. According to veteran negotiators, Dykes needs to hear one overriding message: there is a peaceful way out.
Little things go a long way. Small things make big gains. So they're going to look for small ways to agree that will eventually put them on the right path to getting everybody out safely.
Dykes has agreed to allow medicine for the kindergartner to be delivered through a 4-inch ventilation pipe. Ethan reportedly has Asperger's syndrome and a form of ADHD.
If a child's on a daily dose of ADHD medication, what happens if he doesn't get it?
He needs to keep taking it in order to have those effects, the calming effects, to reduce his hyperactivity, increase his focus, decrease his impulsivity.
Jamie Howard is a child psychologist who specializes in trauma.
And that would all be good in a tense hostage situation?
Absolutely. We want him to sort of be as calm as possible and not to agitate this man, and so taking the medication is important.
5-year-old Ethan is reportedly watching TV in the bunker, but he's also been crying for his parents, who've been meeting with authorities throughout their ordeal.
If I were talking to the parents, I'd say, I know you're scared. I know you're horrified. And I know that right now you feel completely alone, and it's almost overwhelming.
Every parent of a 5-year-old is thinking, this poor child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 5-year-olds are still quite young. They sometimes have the blanket, they sometimes suck their thumbs, they really need to be tucked in at night. This is really hard for a little boy, and it's really hard on his parents right now.
It's not just that he's being held hostage. He has presumably witnessed a horrific murder right in front of his eyes.
So it's doubly traumatic. Who knows what he's thinking about this? His perception matters. So he might be thinking, I'm safe right now, if that's what this man is telling him. I'm going to get out soon. He might be thinking, I'm really unsafe and don't know when I'm going to get out. And that will influence his recovery.
Early this morning at the City Hall in Chowchilla, California.
Many of those who survived another school bus kidnapping in Chowchilla, California more than 30 years ago suffered a variety of post-traumatic stress throughout their lives. They'd been kidnapped and buried in a trucking container, but managed to escape after a day thanks to the heroic efforts of their bus driver. Tonight, there are plenty of prayers in Alabama for Ethan's safe release.
How do children react to this kind of traumatic situation down the road?
We do tend to have a natural recovery process from trauma, but this is a really severe trauma, long-standing trauma that's directly affecting him in a very scary way.
For Nightline, I'm Juju Chang in New York.